I mean, the immediate answer right now, just because we've seen it already, and they already elite looking, is the Sixers. The Nets, I always viewed that move the day it happened as a next year move. This KD injury is kind of like mysterious. No one knows what it is. No one has a timetable. Like, he's just out right now. We have no idea when Ben's playing because they play the Sixers on March 10th, and everybody's saying he's going to duck that game for sure. We have no idea when he's playing. Kyrie might end up playing by next week. They're saying they might lift the mandate, so he might be a full-time player again. We'll see. But the Sixers, they just gave Joel Embiid what he needed. His MVP year, which he's definitely going to grab that award, it just got better. He just got a top 10 scorer of all time. I feel like he got a top 15 passer of all time. James Harden's a very underrated passer. That Sixers team could come out the East, or they could be right there in the Eastern Conference Championship. Just depends on it. To me, it really depends on how the Heat play. I think that's my favorite in the East right now, but we'll see.
Okay. And that's a good one. Throwing in the Heat there. I almost forgot about them. Joe, let's go to you with it. Nets or Sixers right now? Which team are you picking to go further in the East?
It's got to be the Sixers. Like, we're seeing it. Hopefully, this is boring without injury either, because that always changes everything. But, like, it's so obvious that I like having James Harden. It's just bettered Embiid's game. Like, he was hard carrying the Sixers for a while, and now Harden's coming. The scoring load is lifted off him, and he has a good passer, someone who can actually shoot outside of 2 feet. So, like, I just think the team got a lot better. They did have to give up some key role players in that trade, but those can always be replaceable. And, like, honestly, Harden and Embiid could just go all the way. The Nets right now are just when Durant comes back, that could, and maybe hopefully Kyrie Irving can play again because of all the COVID mandates. Like, it's possible they could make a run, but I just think right now the chemistry between Harden and Embiid is just already so good. They're going to go farther.
Okay. Javian, your thoughts right now on the Nets? They have a lot of things going on. Or the Sixers, they looked amazing yesterday. Joel Embiid dominant as usual. I like the chemistry I'm seeing with James Harden, Joel Embiid, the little dances they're doing. It looks like they're comfortable playing with each other. Your thoughts on who you think is going to go farther in the playoffs?
I like the trade for both sides. I would say towards the playoff time, your stars are going to ball, but it's all on the supporting cast. And when you talk about that, the net supporting cast is I think, far better than Phillies. You still have Andre Drummond protecting the rim. They need a defender. You have Curry. You have Joe Harris, who's been hurt for a while. You have Ben Simmons picking up a lot of outside perimeter defensive, abilities. I think that is something we haven't spoke about. And another thing, me being a Clippers fan.
What? I'm sorry, I just popped up.
I've had my run-ins with Doc Rivers. He's been blessed with a lot of great teams, but it always comes down to if Doc is gonna call the right one. I've been with the Paul George Kawhi, and we didn't make it out the second round. So, the players are gonna play, but towards this playoff, it's gonna be big on Doc. He has a lot to prove, I think.
Okay. Look, I never met a Clippers fan for real, so that's what's up. I never met, for real, I never met a Clippers fan.
Like rookie year.
Yet again, a lot of people never met a Jets fan, and I root for the Jets. So,
I meet a lot of Jets fans around where I live, so they're all sad too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who's a Jets fan? Why? Like, why sign up for that? It's always the same type of ending: average quarterback play or below average, right? But Sean, your thoughts. Your thoughts on the Nets and the Sixers? Who's going farther and why?
Real quick, before Kawhi and Paul George got there, I forgot there was a CP3 era and with Doc Rivers. So the Clippers have kind of been good for a little bit when I think about it. Real quick, I kind of forgot about that. But to answer the question, man, I like Javion's point with the supporting cast, with the Nets, because they still do have Seth Curry. You got Ben Simmons, if he can get right mentally, playing and everything. Andre Drummond, you know what I mean? They do have some pieces. And, of course, my thing is this. It depends if can Kyrie ever play or not. It depends on that, because if he can play and then you have a KD, if he can be healthy enough to finish throughout the postseason, it's going to be a real good conversation, because maybe I'll lean towards the Nets because of the supporting cast and also KD, and if Kyrie can actually play home and away. You know what I mean? But it's like as of now, I might have to say the 76ers. And I said before last year, I said you can't win 76ers won't be able to win a championship with Ben Simmons as their second best player because he's going to be too much of a liability late in the game. And Joel Embiid is going to do all he can do. He's going to need somebody he can bounce off of. And if you're starting point guard is really a power forward who's scared to get in the paint because he's going to get fouled, you can't win with that. Now that Ben Simmons is on the Nets, and let's say Kyrie comes back, he's going to be more like the third option, if that, even because you're still going to have Seth and those other guys getting involved. So he probably won't even necessarily have to be the third option. But because he won't have to be as dependent on as being a big, as much as a focal point like he was in Philadelphia, I mean, the Nets, they can be really deadly. But as of right now, man, I have to lean towards the 76ers because James Harden is definitely better than Ben Simmons. We've seen him have 16 assists yesterday. That's a high number. I think 10 rebounds, or maybe I have those backwards. But the point though is that
right.
he's still looking. Yeah, he's still looking really good with scoring. He lost that weight again. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what James Harden is doing with his weight. I don't know if he's wearing an imaginary bag or not. But he looks healthy, man. He looks like he really wants to compete for a championship this year. So by default, I'm going to have to say the 76ers as of right now.